So today's class is just going to be brief. I'm just going to be touching on some things like tips, more of tips because of the weather, and also the fact that I may have to quickly rush out to dash into another project. But yeah, so just going to be more of animation question and answers, tips, what to do and what not to do when considering animations. And then I'm also going to touch on the 12 principles of animation. So yeah. So can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please. I need feedback from you guys. Thank you.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay,
Good afternoon.
thank you. Good afternoon. Hope the rain is not too much on your end.
It's plenty
It's
every
plenty.
day.
Hope you guys are not swimming. Hmm? Well, you guys shouldn't be swimming, oh please. Don't swim. Oh. All right, so I would jump into Cinema 4D now, and I will like to first off ask everyone in this room that how have you guys been or how often do you open your software? How have you guys been practicing? Let me start with so you know how I like to do it. I call everybody's name one after the other. So Mayo Blaze, how are you? So what were you able to touch this week? You know, I didn't come. We didn't have our session on Saturday. So what were you able to do from Saturday till now? You do anything personal?
Yeah, sure, sir.
As a what?
I worked on our project logo.
Okay, okay,
Then
and okay,
I'm trying
continue, please.
to do how do they call it? Art for some NFT projects.
For some
Just
NFT projects, Abi?
practicing. I'm just practicing with it.
Okay, so your NFT projects are 3D projects, right? Is it a 3D NFT project?
No, I'm just doing fan art. It's not 3D, but it's just fan art.
Oh, fan art. Okay, fan
Yes,
art.
yes.
Oh, all right, that's good. That's good. Nice one. Um, Ewedemi Isaac, how are you?
Hello?
Isaac, how are you?
Fine, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh. So, yeah. So yeah, what's going on your end? What's the new thing? What's
I've actually opened the software with because I'm trying to understand the software.
Mayowa, please, sorry. Mayo, please, can you mute yourself? Thank you. All right. Isaac.
Yeah, I'm saying I actually open the software every day because I'm trying to understand how the software works. In fact, it's even currently open now as we speak.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've just been working on the, just learning how the shapes work and how to build. I'm currently building like a small store,
A
basically
small
using
store.
a store.
Okay.
I
Okay,
don't
that's
know.
good. Um um Rebecca, Tobiloba, and Tomieta in that order, please.
Good afternoon.
How
Okay,
are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So yeah, I actually have a course I'm working with first of, so I practice with the course. Also, I want to start working on my group 3D assets, and I'll start that today. Then also yeah, for my website too. So yeah, that's how I've been practicing. Thank you.
I would like to see your website. I don't mind you send me the link to your website, so I'll see the progress. Hmm? I won't mind.
Uh, okay.
Thank you.
Um, sorry. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. What's up? Hmm?
I actually reached out to you concerning okay, so I'm trying to get a new laptop, so I reached out to you to like know
Oh,
specifications.
when?
So
Because is this Rebecca Adisa, right?
Yes, yes.
So where did you reach out to me? Not on Slack at all.
Oh, it's on Slack. I reached out
Because
to you on Slack.
yeah, because I mean your DM on Slack and the last message was 8th of July, and you're talking about the render, like you've been trying to
Yes,
render.
before that, scroll up, you see the message.
Please, I need your opinion. I want to get. Oh my God, 7th. I'm sorry, dear. Okay, probably
No,
after this class, I'll respond and let you know the best thing. Right? Is that fine?
okay.
Or you've
Yes, yes,
gotten
it
it
was.
already?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so the thing is, yeah, I had to because it was actually kind of urgent though, so I had to reach out to some people. So
Okay.
I will send the link of the one someone recommended to me.
Okay. So I'll see it. Yes. Okay. No problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
thank
Thank
you.
you. You're welcome. All right. Next, Tobiloba Folarami. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Why are you sounding cold? Is there much cold where you are?
Plenty cold. It's raining all the time.
Yeah, I think we're in the 7 day period. So I think this is just the third day. We have like 4 days to go. So yeah.
That is keep on raining. Are you
Yes,
serious?
now. Haven't you noticed the trend over the years that there is at least 7 days that we're going to have continuous rainfall during the rainy season?
I
I'm
do.
not.
I never
I'm not even
noticed it.
joking. Actually, there's always like a 7 day. But I think there was a one year that we didn't have the 7 days consecutively. But there's always a 7 day rain like that in the rainy season. Just check through. You will see that it has ever been like that over the years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, sir. We shall be all right.
we will be alright. I hope you are not swimming, Sha.
No, no, I'm not swimming.
Okay.
I don't even step out.
Okay, that's good. So since you are not stepping out, that means you should be doing a lot of 3D stuff, right?
I'm honestly not doing a lot of 3D stuff.
Hey, Tobiloba, what's going on?
Sir,
Oh, yeah,
you're not okay, sir.
so why? Because I don't want everybody to only have to open this software when we're having
We
classes.
have the class.
Mm,
Yes.
because it's supposed to be like part of your living system, your life, right? Please, because design is your stuff. So somebody should be able to tap you and say, I want to do. Okay, so if somebody comes to you and says, I want to do an animation, and you've not been opening this software when you are supposed to, when you're alone, how would you render the animations? Do you understand? So,
Yes, sir.
uh so, but yeah, what have you done so far from last week through to Saturday to today? Have you done
So
anything?
today, okay, apart from the task that I modified and submitted, yesterday I finished the sketch work for my team's mascot. We decided on a mascot, a girl with a diamond. So we just finished the sketch yesterday. This week we should start you playing around with Cinema 4D and seeing what
Mm,
we can do.
okay, okay, I like that. And then who's next? Tommy, and then Dorcas.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so for me, honestly, I
Hey, I
have
don't hear honestly. I don't hear honestly. Hey, oh, yeah, tell me. Tell me.
actually about to start the work for my group, but
Mm,
I have honestly been busy with a lot of things. So I actually haven't had
you
the
are what?
time to, I've been busy with a lot of things, so I haven't had time to practice.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but
Okay.
I'm about to start the work for my group.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. And then, where's Dorcas? Okay, she's here. Dorcas, what is going on? Dorcas is not here. Okay. Okay, I think she's here. Hello. Yeah, good afternoon. I can't hear you for some reason though. I can't hear you for some reason. Okay. So let's move on to I don't know why I can't hear Dorcas. Dorcas, please try speaking again.
Good afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Good afternoon. I can hear you now. Okay, I
So,
think it's. Uh-huh. Okay.
I sent you a message on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah.
if you
I
talk
saw
on
the
so,
notification. Okay, no problem then. That's fine. That's
oh,
fine.
but apart from that, sorry, like Cinema 4D as the animation has been frustrating me. There was a
Uh-huh.
f-
These are the things
I
I'm here. So what is making it frustrate you? What's going on? That means you tried your best. These are the things I want to hear. So
okay,
what
so
happened?
in my former file at the
Mm,
point I could not click on any elements on the screen again, like
mm,
not was clicking at all. So I had to start from afresh.
wow.
And start the entire assignment from fresh. And even now, I think, okay, now I didn't experience that, but like I'm just trying not to experience it. So I don't know what could have gone wrong that
You couldn't click on any object at all.
I could not click on anything at all.
That should be a bug. That should be a bug because that should be. But then, are you sure you selected the right object? Because if you
Yes,
select
I
the right
selected
tool,
that.
are you sure you selected the right tool to select something?
Yes, I selected the right to.
Okay,
When I
that's
went online, I saw that the people were like, maybe I locked, like the response was like, maybe when you lock a layer, but there was
mm,
nothing locked. There was no layer locked. I
wow.
just couldn't select.
Okay, but do you know how to work with layers on a normal day in Cinema 4D?
Is it the layers by the side?
Yes, we have some layer options that like there's some settings for layers. I think
I
I
can't
should I think I should
but I
start
know
sharing right now. I think I should start sharing it. Okay, that's fine. I would explain the layers. In fact, in today's class, I was planning on going this route before. Are you guys seeing my screen? Hello?
Yes.
Can
Yes,
you guys
yes,
hear
you
me?
can see us.
Yeah, I was planning on going this route before. Our character model, like even if it's the head alone, so that we learn some new things. I was planning on doing this before, but probably would still touch it, right? Something as simple as this, so that we would have some modeling skills too. But also, I want to also touch on the interface because we can't overemphasize the need for us to understand the interface for Cinema 4D intricately, right? So that things like I don't know where this is, I don't know where this is, will not occur and happen, or I don't know how to do this animation or that. But we may still touch on things like this. So, and one of the major purposes of this class is that I want everybody to build characters to the point that we're going to have black characters almost everywhere. Like African characters. Do you understand? So, but yeah, who is the next person before I go? Okay, the next person is hold on. I think I should just move on because there's no time. I need to run this up. Okay, all right. So let's yeah. So let me just start with sorry if I skipped your name or I am not calling you. I'm sorry. We just have to run pretty fast today so that everybody will go resume their sleeping. All right. So the first thing is that I believe we all understand this interface to a very large extent, right? And I would love to explain some other things to us, like things like layers, how to work with layers, how to work with your objects, your content browser, how to work with what else? What else? What else is intricate there? How to work with your display settings, and especially some other things that have to do with rendering. So maybe we can just do all that today. So first thing is working with layers. I think I should open a a project. think I should open a project. Where's my recent? Where's open recent? Okay, there. I think I should do. Okay, icon setup. Let me come here. So, this is in-house. So we're trying to make a template in my business for 3D artists, for graphic designers, such that they'll be able to use these templates for their designs, right? And for each template, we have different themes. This is location. We have one for humans. We have different templates. So this is not out yet. So, okay. But for the purpose of this class, I want to explain how to use this part, right, of the Cinema 4D today, right? And the reason I'm doing that is because today's class is not the normal Saturday class. We're supposed to go into admissions, but it's so just like an extra class. Though we didn't have class on Saturday, but this is just supposed to teach us some things that I didn't go over in the previous classes. So first off is, if you remember, I said this is your object panel or your object window. As you see, objects, right? Is your object window, and this is the attribute window, right? And here is a layers panel. So we have attributes panel, layers panel, objects panel, and text panel. Text just talks about the your scene, your scenery, like scene, SCENE, right? But we may not fully go into that today because there are a lot of things to consider here and here and here. But majorly we'll be doing objects and layers today, right? So first off is the very first thing to know about your object panel is that it contains all the objects, right, that you are working with, all the objects that you see in your viewport, in your display port, right? And all these objects have peculiar characteristics that we attach to them. There are some default characteristics, there are some peculiar characteristics. The first thing to know is that objects can be visible, they can be invisible, right? In fact, there are some characteristics that objects must possess, right, to be able to perform some certain ways. So, for example, okay, let me even first explain the old window to you. So we have the file, just like you have file here, right? You have file here. You can merge objects and you can export a selected object. And remember, you can only merge objects you select. For example, if I select this and this together, I can file and merge the objects, right? I can do that. And the shortcut is Ctrl Shift O. I can save a selected object as a new object, and I can export a selected object as any other format I want, be it FBX, be it OBJ, be it Illustrator, be it Waveforms OBJ, be it 3D Studio, that's 3D Max, whatever, right? But if you come here, you're exporting the entire project. Where is it? Export. We're exporting the entire project. That means everything here as whatever format. But if you're here, you're exporting a particular object after selecting it, right? That's what this part is for. And then we have edit. That's your copy paste, select all, select visible objects, deselect all and all that and all that. Then we have the view. You can um, check your icon size to be big. You can make it very tiny. I like small icons actually, so that it will contain more stuff for me to work with. But if it's going to confuse you, or if you don't have as much things that I'm working with, you can always make your icon size big. You can set an object as a root object, right? You can do whatever it is you want to do. And also, you can also get your layers tab in the view part, right? Let me, so here's your layers tab, right? And you can actually view your objects. You can view your objects here according to layers. So imagine you have 15,000 layers, for example. Like you group all your objects into layers, right? You can decide, these objects are too much. So I want to work with layer one. So you can just, I want to work with layers rather. You can come here and work with layers. But for now, let's work with our objects back. I would explain what that is. And then we have objects, probably let me select two. You can group an object, or G, you can ungroup, delete without children, different, you can bake an object, right? you bake objects that probably you want to export out, maybe an animation. You want to bake an animation so that you can use it for another software. You want to bake a texture. You want to whatever. Baking is just preparing it for an external software. That's or the putting the catch file into like a file that can be played easily so that your computer will not be under any form of duress. Then we have materials. You can create a new material from here, right? And you can also create a new material from here. Then, okay, then we have the object display. You can out all these things, right? That the shortcuts are in here, so you don't have to come here all the time to start doing all this. Then tags. Tags are super important. They are very, very important. In fact, most of the time, they'll be coming here most of the time. And then we have bookmarks. If you want to bookmark an object, right? So you can add a bookmark. You can default a bookmark. So bookmarks are just like um, different settings for your object manager. For example, if I do probably this, I can add it as a bookmark. So I have two bookmarks now, bookmark 0 and bookmark 1. And it tells me where my last selection was bookmark. Let me put default bookmark. So if I go to bookmark 1, it just tells me my settings, the last setting I had on bookmark. So maybe on bookmark 0, right? I change this to medium and then layers, for example. I can decide to say, you know what, I want bookmark 1. It goes back to objects. I want bookmark, maybe default bookmark, or my bookmark 1. It takes me back to my layers. It's supposed to take me back to my layers. Okay, so moving forward now. Oh, I didn't save it, sorry. So let me do this, layers, and then add bookmark. So once I come back to bookmark 0, bookmark 1, bookmark 2, you see, bookmark 2 has been saved as layers bookmark. So it has bookmarked it for me. Instead of me coming here to start, I want layers, I want this, I want that. So I just have, oh my, this thing. Okay, I think I shouldn't sort by name, leave sort by name. And I don't want a flat string. Flat string means it shows all the objects without children. So I don't want that. Without the parents. No, so yeah. So first off, let me first explain layers to you. Before I start explaining tags to you, I'll explain what layers do. So like in your Photoshop, in your Illustrator, in your SketchUp, whatever software you use for layering, you know that layers are, number one, meant to group objects together, right, that have the same quality. Number two, if these objects are on the same visual hierarchy or the same visual level, right? That's when you use layers, right? But most importantly, if you want these objects to have the same edit properties, you put them on the same layer, right? So it's in my 4D, it works like the same way. But it's just that because this is 3D, it doesn't mean that a layer that is in front of one, right, will not be seen by the one behind. And it doesn't mean that a layer behind another layer will not be seen because it's behind. No, this is 3D scene. You can always move around. You can always move around, right? So now let's go to our layers. So first off, I grouped my cameras in one layer, right? In fact, explaining these buttons, let me explain all these buttons to you. First off, this little button here means add to layer. So if you want to add an object to layer, you just click it. You see add to layer. If you don't want to add to any of these layers, you can add new layer, right? These two traffic lights, we call them traffic lights. They are meant to turn on and turn off your objects. For example, my locator here, this guy, right? I don't want my locator to show here in my viewport, right? What I do is instead of coming to click here and then coming to basic and clicking visible in editor, probably to off, right? All I just need to do is come here. This is a shortcut here. So this is visible in editor. It's going to kill it. The other one is visible in renderer. So if I render now, you're going to see that it's showing in the renderer. Why? Because my visible in render is still on. So I can kill this And I can decide to say, you know what? I don't want this object to show in render. So if I render, nothing will show because my visible in render is off. These things are very, very important. When you begin to have really, really big projects, like projects that have a lot of objects, right? You'll be required to use this most of the time. So, for example, this sphere now, if you check it, there's a sphere that's supposed to be seen. So because the sphere is part of my project, but I don't want it to interfere with what I'm doing, I kill it. That's what the traffic light is for. And then the green means always visible. For example, if I do this, always visible. Even if I so this actually just means always show in my editor. And then this green means always show in my renderer. So even if I kill this, right, it will always show in my render. Then this little check mark here is to turn on and off the object, like off, off, on, just to switch on and switch on the effect an object has on another, or the effect of the object itself. But you can't do that with an editable object. For example, let me see. So you can do that with lights, right? You can do that with you can't do that with cameras, right? You can't do that with an object that is editable. For example, if I have a cube here and I make my cube, you see the cube is what's it called? Let me get out from this camera. Okay, that's the cube right there. So the cube is here. I can decide to I can decide to I can decide to I can decide to kill this, right? And the object is not showing. I can I can decide to kill this, and then my cube is off. Sorry about that, guys. And then I can decide to turn it on. But once I make this object editable, I won't be able to do that anymore because now it's not a primitive, it's an editable object. So rather, I just kill it here, right? So it dies. I don't know why this thing doesn't work. Okay, good. So that's about that. That's the traffic light system and layering system. And then we have this is a tag window. This is where you add tags to your object. I'm coming to that, how you add tags and what tags are, right? I'm coming to that. So the next is cameras. So this little button right here, right, is just to focus on your camera, focus in and focus out. So focus in, right? And it takes you to the view of the current camera as it were, right? So yeah, so that's what this guy does. So if you select your camera, right, or any of your objects, you see their properties here. So we have, but notice something. If I have a new camera, this is in where's it? Where's it? Where's it? Where's it? Where? Okay, so see this camera, see this object manager here. You notice that you notice that you are not seeing target here. There's an option called target here. When I select this camera, you see target. Why? It is simply because of the tag. I added the tag to it, right? And understanding tags in Cinema 4D can save you a lot of stress, a lot of stress, right? So, um, so first is look. So now I want to add a tag to an object. Like I said, guys. Oh, sorry. Can you hear that music?
No.
Okay, very good. All right. So, if I want an object to have a physical property, I think to myself first, what do I want this object to do? What do I want it to possess? That is the first thing I would have behind my mind. So that's when we come to tags, or you right click. So once you right click on an object, it means you want to add a tag to it, or probably the object is selected. You can now say tag and do whatever it is you want to do. But most times, I don't come here. I right click. So once I right click, right? Once I right click, I see my different tags right here. My different tags. But you know what? Tags are um tags are very wide. So let me go to layers first and then come back to tags. So these are layers, right? So these are layers, right? All these layers mean different things. Number one, let me come to layer 2, right? I can layer 1, let me rename it and call it cameras. Okay, so sorry, are you guys hearing that voice?
No.
Okay. All right. So for my layers, so I've named these cameras, and then I'm naming this reference, probably reference. So look at something. This S means solo. This means visible. This means render. So this means manager. This means lock. This means animation. This means generators. This means deformers. This means emitters. And this means um, 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 espresso. Espresso. So I'll explain what all this means. It just means that um, where do you want these things to be visible? Number one, if I click on solo, I'm telling my object manager to only solo my cameras. I don't want to see any other object. See, that's what layers are for. So I just want it to solo. So solo only my camera. I want this to be visible in the viewport. That's what it means. So once I click it, all the cameras become invisible. All the cameras on that layer becomes invisible. If I put R, it means that every object in my camera's layer will not show in my render when I render. It means that all these objects will not show in my render, right? If I uncheck it, it means that it's going to show in my render. Then for this M means manager. That means if I click this, all my cameras will not show in my object manager. That's what it means. So sometimes when you have a lot of objects, and there are some that you don't want to select, right? All these objects will not show in your object manager if you kill it here. So you're going to have like the precise objects you want to use, right? Then for the lock, if I click on lock here, right, the lock will lock the objects in the layer such that I won't be able to interact with them. I won't be able to move them. So for example, there are some objects that you want in your scene, but you don't want these objects to move, probably by mistake or something, right? You can put them in a layer and lock them. Another is animation. What this means is that every animation on the object in this layer should be cancelled. So the animations will not play, even if you even if you even if you play from now to tomorrow. Probably imagine layers are like this, and then I come here and I give you the file, and you're trying to animate it and play the animation. If it doesn't play, one of the things to check is the object on the layer. If it's on the layer, check if the animation is off. Then we have generators. Generators are your what's it called? Your knobs, your hyper knobs, your metal, but all these things are called generators. So if, for example, this, okay, let me add this to the blue layer. Look at something. So I didn't make it, see the visibility, for example. If I turn it on, right? Turn it on. Okay, sorry, I should do this too. Right? So turning it on, turning it off, right? Okay, this should be on. Generator, sorry. So because I turn off generator, remember I said your extrude is under a generator. See, these are called generators. Your cloth surface, because it generates a subdivision. Your subdivision surface generates smoothness. So all these things are called generators. This generates extra geometry for your outlines. So all these things are called generators. So if I kill my generator, I won't see my objects. If I kill animation, that means any animation on this timeline won't work. If I make it, invisible, it will not be visible. If I solo it, it will be the only one I'll be able to work on, and so on. Then, deformer. If I have a deformer, these are your deformers here. Your bend, your shear, your taper, different deformers. If your object is under a deformer, I think we should have a deformer class one of these days to see how you can use deformers, right? That means you're telling Cinema 4D you don't want the deformer to affect the object. The deformer will never work, right? Then we have um, expressions like Python coding. So you can actually code your Python in script. So if you have a script, a Python script on your object, it will not work because in your layers panel, you just switch it off. And then we have Espresso. Espresso is like your node-based programming. For example, if I right click and come to, let me add an Espresso programming tags, Espresso. So this is Espresso. It's just for nodes. It's a node-based system, right? It's a node-based system that can be used to generate something in your what's it called, in your animations, right, or in your projects. But we're not going to go to expressos today because expressos are very, very advanced, right? So we're not going to do that today. So moving on, we have startup. Okay. So moving on now, yeah. So that's what your layers do. Your layers just help you to solo manipulate whatever it is you want to manipulate, right? So you can add a new layer from here, you can edit your layers, and you can also view your layers. So you see what I explained to you: solo, view, render, manager, locking, animation generators, deformers, expressions, and X reference, right? X reference is your espresso. So solo, solo, visible, everything is here. Solo, view, render. So yeah. So if you can't remember the meanings, you can always come here to check the meanings of all these abbreviations right here. So yeah, moving on to tags now. Let's go on to tags. Let's go into tags. So for example, now I was talking about the fact that tags are elaborate, right? And when you are working with tags, you should be able to know what you want to achieve before before um before you even enter the tag thing. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, 1 minute. All right. Okay. So when it comes to tags, we have different type of tags. So for example, I want to add a tag to my sphere. So once I right click, we have different types. We have animation tags, right? So these tags are specific to animations. Maybe you want your object to move along a path, or target an object, or modify a tracker, or vibrate. So for example, this was what I used here. So right click, animation tags, target. So I'm telling my camera that target this object here. So what I did was I picked my target, and in the reference, all I just did was I told it to reference this object, right? So now the tag is a physical property of this object. So it's saying camera target this object, right? For another example, if I right click and I say maybe this is a camera tag, air tags. Let me look for one. Rigging tag, simulation tag. Let me look for one tag. I don't want to. Okay, for example, a form. A form tag is, in fact, is a default tag for your objects. The front tag is a default tag for your objects. It's just default. So once you create a new object, it gives it, that means a new object that has geometry. It gives it a front tag. And what does this do? This gives your object smoothness. So if I delete this tag, my object won't be as smooth as it's supposed to be. See, are you seeing the geometry? That the geometry is subdivided. Hope you can still see my screen, guys. Okay, yeah. Right? So once I add my font tag back, right, you see that it's now smooth, right? Because font allows your objects to be smooth. So your tags are just the physical and operative property of any object that you have in your scene. Do you understand? So that's that about tags. That's that about tags. So before I run, do we have people that have questions? Questions?
Hello, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so I saw that you had a lot of cameras in your object manager, and I wanted to ask because the earlier assignment that I gave was the one with the clock and everything. I made us to put this thing camera. That alone was, let's say, confusing and all initially. So I want to ask, when you render, which view does the which view are we seeing it from? Because I don't
Okay.
understand.
So yeah, so this is the secret here. When you have a camera, these little buttons here are your view cameras. So if I want to see from, so let me show you my setup. So I have this setup. You see all these blue lines? You see all this blue stuff? Those are my
Yes.
cameras. So I have 9 cameras. One from the top right, middle right, bottom right, top top, top middle, bottom top, then middle bottom, I mean, then top left, middle left, bottom left, right? So all I just need to do is to go into the view of the one I want to use. So for example, I might want to use the left top center, which is this left top, no, left top center camera. So left top center, this guy. So if I do this, it goes to that camera, and then that's what it's going to see. So if you do not select this, you're going to have this kind of render when you render. So you need to be in the camera view to be able to render what you want. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you can animate these camera views also.
Yes, you can animate cameras, but there's a specific way to do them. So to animate cameras, you must use the stage object. Where is it? Stage object. So what the stage object allows you to do, you see, you can animate camera, sky, background, foreground, environment. So if I have, for example, I can say in my first frame, I want this camera, this first frame, right? In my fifth frame, I want this camera, and I keyframe it. And then in this frame, probably I want this camera, and I keyframe it. So once you play, see what's happening? So
Okay.
it animates between those cameras, right? And also you can also put a spline between 2 cameras. For example, you can make a camera move along a spline. For example, if I do this, I have a camera, right? I have my camera. This is my camera right here, right? And then I can right click, animation tags, align to path, right? So if I draw a path, let me quickly draw a path. Where is my spline? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, there. So I can decide to say, let me draw an arc, right? So if this arc is like this, I can now say align to spline. So what is the spline path, right? Spline path. The spline path is this, right? So you notice that my camera is already on that path. And then I can decide to, let me increase the radius of this. Then I can decide to say on frame one, right? On frame one, the start and end angle, right? And then on frame 20, remove this. Oh, sorry. No. Where is my, hold on. Position, sorry, I should do position. So on frame one, our position, camera position is 0%. On frame 20, probably is 100%, right? And then I keyframe. But this time, if you notice, if I play and scrub through, my camera is not looking at my object, it's looking somewhere else. So that's when I can decide to say right click, animation tags, target, and say I want you, right? Click on the target tab to target this cube. Click and drag the cube in here. Or if you don't want to click and drag, once you select, see this little eyedropper. Once you click it,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to select, and then you have the cube, right? Let me reduce my camera focal point. So once I scrub through, see what's happening. So it's not my cube that is moving actually, it's my camera. It's my camera there. So if I come back here, top view, let me reduce my camera focal, whatever. So you see my camera is moving. Are you seeing this? It's my camera that is moving. So that's what tags do. Tags are very, very powerful. They help your objects to, they bring your objects to life. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, like I said, I'll soon be running off. But do we have any other question?
Yes, please, I have a question. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So there was a session with Miss Kemi, and she mentioned a lot of 3D artists actually prefer not to use Blender. Is there a reason why?
Yes, there are a lot of reasons though. So some have started using 3D software before Blender came out, right? Some just prefer the interfaces of other software. So like me, the reason I'm not using Blender like that is because I've been using Cinema 4D for over 10 years, right? And for me to go back to Blender, it's just gonna be like a repetition of what I already have in my toolbox. So instead of me learning Blender, I would go learn another advanced software like maybe Unreal Engine or Houdini or something else. In fact, I don't use 3D Max because I can achieve whatever it is I want to achieve with my Cinema 4D, right? So I'm learning a new software. I'm learning Unreal. I'm learning probably ZBrush or something. Why? Because Cinema 4D doesn't have that power to do it. So why will I duplicate my efforts? There's no time for that. That's number one. Number two, people, it's just people's preferences. And another thing is that for a long while, Blender has not been industry standard because it's a free software. A lot of industries and a lot of what do they call this, animation houses have not been using them, but now people are beginning to use them more. So because of that restriction, a lot of people just prefer to buy their software and be with a company that they have a in quotes trustworthy support system that you can contact support. But Blender has a huge community and they support every time now. Like people are using Blender a lot. But then also people just like that prestige that comes with I don't use a free software. It's just like humans generally. But me personally, if I had started learning Blender as at 2010 when I started 3D, probably by now I won't be talking about Cinema 4D and I'll be a guru in Blender. But I started with Cinema 4D and I didn't like the interface of Blender since 2010. So and there's nothing that is making me liking it to like it now. So only if Blender has something special that my cinema cannot do, that's when I would go learn Blender. So there are a lot of reasons people are not using it, but majorly prestige, industry standard things, and yeah, and all that. Yeah, that's it. But Blender is an excellent software. It's a very good software. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But the community is large though. It's a large community, so yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Another question?
I've dropped the link on Slack.
What link?
This is Rebecca.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. I think I may need to run now. I just have to quickly enter this meeting to keep to the meeting time. So please, for today, I won't be giving any task, right? So enjoy your enjoy your holiday, enjoy yourself, and but don't forget that we had a task that we're supposed to do. That was last week to animate the clock and stuff. So please don't forget. So when you guys come in next week, we'll review it. Guys, thank you for joining in. I think I'll be on my way now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, bye, guys. Yeah.
Baby, little brother.